Hey guys, welcome back to Cornball Video, the dumbest coffee channel in all of YouTube. And if you know where that intro comes from, make sure you hit me up in the comments section. And I'm going to give you some accolades if you know where I stole that from. All right, one of my most favorite YouTubers of all time that lives on YouTube. And it's got nothing to do with coffee, by the way. But yeah, a little pop quiz for you guys. So I'm Jag. Like I said, welcome back, and hopefully, my objective is to turn you, the average Joe coffee consumer, into a coffee connoisseur. Today, you probably realize that I'm wearing the same damn shirt again. Like, this guy's he only got one shirt? No, of course not. What I'm doing is I'm filming a bunch of videos in one day, and I'll release them throughout the week. And I'm just a busy dad, and I got to do this when I have time, when my house is quiet and I don't have kids running around and all that kind of stuff. And actually, right where I'm filming, this is my little coffee corner, right? So Cornball Coffee corner, and it's kind of like right in the racetrack running path and racetrack path for my kids, where they run through the house. So definitely best for me to film these videos when they're not here. And the other thing I'd like to say too is I think that because I'm a rookie and I don't know what the heck I'm doing with regard to making YouTube videos, I'm not sure if all my other videos were using the microphone that I have on my lapel here, because I think I had one of my settings wrong within my phone. And I got to be honest with you, I don't like using my phone to make these videos. It's already becoming a hassle. So if anybody's got any recommendations on a El Cheapo camera that I could buy to make these videos moving forward, that would be great. I did invest in these nice microphones because I'm big on audio. That's another thing I'm into too, is audio. I'm really into high-end audio, but one thing I can't stand when I watch a YouTube video is to have the YouTube video be a decent video with good content, but with bad audio. Like, it drives me up the freaking wall. So I wanted to invest in some at least decent microphones that were good value, kind of middle of the road, where I didn't get into that diminishing returns area. But yeah, so anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get back to the coffee stuff. And by the way, I will be doing a whole series of videos on coffee diminishing returns, because there's a definite arc there for the amount of money you spend versus the amount of return you get on that investment, right? So eventually in the coffee hobby, I think you get, just like in audio, you get to a certain amount of spend, and it's like, am I really getting that value? So if I'm paying 10 times the amount for this item, am I getting 10 times the value out of this item? Top secret thing here, the answer is no. And it's just like audio. Like audio, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars on speakers. Are you really getting better audio out of those speakers than you are out of the speakers that cost 1/10 of that cost? The answer is no, you're not. It's just that simple. It's more about bragging rights, I think. A good analogy would be the new Corvette ZR1 against the Ferrari, right? Corvette ZR1 for the money, in my opinion, destroys a Ferrari. Absolutely destroys it. But you can buy the Ferrari for 10 times the money, right? And have 10 times the maintenance cost and 10 times the insurance cost and all that jazz too. Anyway, I'm rambling. So, hey, what do we want to talk about today? I want to talk about a device that I just got that I teased in my last video, and it's a portable wireless grinder. So this is a rechargeable grinder for your coffee that you can use on the go. As I said in my last video, I have not used this thing yet. I just got it and I let it charge. And now, in real time, I'm not reading the instructions. I'm not doing nothing. I'm going to do this like I normally do stuff. I don't read instructions. Who reads instructions? Come on, man. We just pull it out and we start using it. What are you talking about? So look, I'm going to look, this is nice. I was actually surprised at how nice this felt. When I first pulled this out, I was like, oh man, that looks like a cheap plastic cover. I pulled it off. I was like, oh, it's not bad. It's plastic. Don't get me wrong. It's plastic. It's see-through. But it still feels good. So I think this is aluminum. I think this is all aluminum. It feels like it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's kind of heavy for aluminum. But then again, there's a motor in here too and a battery. So that could be what it is. I don't know. I've never used one of these before. I have used, and I haven't shown you guys this yet, but I've used a hand grinder. This is essentially the same exact thing as this, but this is manpower. This is one arm power versus battery motor power for an automated machine, but they essentially do the same thing, right? So this, you put your coffee. This is a manual hand grinder, like I said. You pour your beans in here. This one, I actually ruined this thing. I used some cheap flavored coffee in it, and I should have never done that. But anyway, I need to take it all apart and give it a really good cleaning. But bottom line is, this is a manual grinder. So a lot of guys will take these when they go camping. And you put your coffee beans in the top. Then you put it onto the catch can. This is a built-in catch can here. Put your cover back on it. Put your crank on it, and then you manually crank it. It's fine. It works. You know, a lot of guys they'll get going real fast with it and all that kind of stuff. Personally, when I'm camping or, you know, whatever, I don't want to deal with this. It's a hassle, you know. Oh, will I do it? Yeah, I'll do it because I prefer to have my coffee than not. But I'd rather not do this. I'd rather just hit a button and deal with the noise for a few seconds and be done with it. You know, easy peasy, right? I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna get sidetracked. I haven't talked about this next device. This has nothing to do with this video. And maybe I'll make a separate video about this, but I really don't need to. It's kind of stupid. One thing I think every coffee station should have is some sort of small vacuum. It may sound stupid, but I just opening this thing up, I got coffee grounds on my countertop here, and I don't like it. So have a small vacuum. Instead of knocking them onto the floor, vacuum them up real quick. And no matter what you do, no matter how clean you are, you're always going to get coffee grounds everywhere. So I like to give my pad here a quick wipe down after I'm done brewing my coffee. After I'm done brewing a session here, I'll give my whole pad here a quick rundown with the portable vacuum, portable rechargeable vacuum. Portable rechargeable grinder. Now, with that being said, because I'm a cornball and I'm not going to read the instructions, I'm wondering if there's like something I got to do to like. So here's the catch can or the catch cup for your ground coffee. I can see where the coffee will come out ground. But what I'm concerned about is that they put any kind of safety mechanism in. I'm telling you, I'm a cornball. All right, maybe I need to read the instructions. Hang on, let me put it back together and see if it will turn on. Oh. Okay, well, it was even simpler than I was trying to make it out to be. Okay, so what I was doing wrong is I was holding it down like it was gonna, you know, I hold the button down for 3 seconds and it would turn on. That's what I was thinking. It's not even that complex. It's literally just press it for like a half a second and it turns itself on. So it's really that simple. So once again, that's the problem when you don't read instructions. You got to figure it out yourself. But it's not a tap. If you just tap, well. Yeah, because if you just tap it real quick, it won't turn on. But if you give it a little, like an extra hold, see the tap. Oh, see that time it works. Well, wait a minute, maybe there's something wrong with this. Or is it a double tap? It's a double tap. You know what? I bet you that's a safety mechanism because it's a travel device. So you have to quick double tap it. That's the flow. So double tap to turn on, I guess, and then single tap to turn off. You know, I probably should read the instructions, but that's no fun. Come on, let's just figure it out. All right, so we've got the grinder. We're ready to go. I don't know what this says. Oh, it says espresso 1-2. It says pour over 4-5. Okay, so that's a setting. Oh, it actually has a setting in there. I can barely see it because I'm old and I'm blind. And I just ordered new glasses, so they're not in yet. All right, yeah, so there is a setting in here. I have to twist it. And holy cow, I cannot see that. Well, I'm just going to guess. I'm going to say that's it, because why not? All right, let's weigh some beans, I guess. We'll find out what happens, right? So now I'm going to do what's called a hot start on this thing. A hot start means I turn the grinder on first before I pour the beans in. That way, as soon as the beans hit, they start grinding. Whereas some people will pour the beans in first and then they all land inside the grinder, then they turn the grinder on. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I like to do a hot start because I think if the mechanics are working and they will do the intake process a little bit easier and it'll be a little bit smoother. It's really superstition. If there's any engineers out there and you guys know better than me, tell me, educate me in the comments section, right? But I am going to do a hot start. I do a hot start with my big grinder. That's how I do it. So I'm going to do the same workflow on this thing. So here we go. And one fell out. It's actually not that loud. We're going to just wait until we hear it stop grinding, I guess. Now, obviously, this is going to take longer than one of my big tabletop grinders because it's small. So the surface area for the conical grinder, and just to reiterate too, inside a grinder like this, it's going to be a conical grinder, which is in the shape of a cone, versus what I have over here, which is called a flat burr grinder. So you can think of your flat burr grinder like your DeWalt grinder, you know, the grinder disc, it's flat. The grinder discs that are in a flat burr grinder are not exactly flat like an actual tool that you would use, but they are flatter than a cone-shaped grinder. So this thing still seems to be grinding. Seems to be taking quite a while, actually. While that's doing that, I'm going to get my scale ready because we're going to measure the output. Remember, I've taught you guys this in previous videos. I put 18 grams of coffee into my grinder. I want to get 18 grams out. In my daily driver, the grinder that I use, I'm usually within 1/10 of a gram of being accurate. A lot of times, I'm 100% accurate coming out of this grinder over here. But we're going to see what this grinder does for performance with regard to what's called retention. And that means how much coffee grounds are getting stuck inside the device. So I'm going to use my shaker to measure this. And I'm going to put the shaker on the scale. And then I'm going to turn it on to zero it out so that the shaker weighs essentially zero according to the scale. And then we'll pour the grounds into this. And there we go. Now it's done. That took quite a while. I should have timed it, but I didn't. But it took quite a while for that thing to work. And boy, I didn't realize how loud it was until it stopped. But I'm going to hit it again just to kind of let it run through that cycle again. And I hear some grinding. Give it a couple of taps. It stopped itself. I'm going to hit it again. Give it a couple of taps. I don't hear anything else grinding, so I think it's good. All right, now we'll unscrew the bottom here. And there we go. All right, I see some retention on the bottom of that. Doesn't look too bad. Coffee grounds look pretty good. Probably could be a little bit finer. But again, that's something that you work on as you work with a new device. Anytime you get a new device, it's what we call in coffee world, we call it dialing it in, right? So it's, I'll probably take me like, depending on which device I'm using to brew, it might take me 3-4 different tries to get my dialed in the way that I actually want it for myself. And when you don't know what you don't know, what I recommend that you do is you just try different things. You'll find that, maybe a finer grind will produce a different flavor profile that you like, or maybe a more coarse grind will produce a different flavor profile that you like. It doesn't matter what Jag says. It matters what your taste buds tell you. And don't let anybody tell you anything different, because it doesn't freaking matter. This whole entire hobby is subjective about taste, so it is what it is. All right, let me pour this in and see what we got for total weight. And man, dude, we're at 18 grams on the dot. That is amazing. Now, there's a high probability that we did lose 1/10 of a gram, because I'll clue you into a little secret. When I am measuring out my my vials of pre-measured 18 grams, I will allow 18.1. And depending on what coffee bean that you use, I do find that on average, one bean means 1/10 of a gram when with regard to what the scale is reading. Now, that brings into a whole different conversation of, well, how accurate is your scale? Is your scale calibrated? Yada, yada, yada. You know, did you pay a lot of money for your scale? Did your scale cost $200? No, I'm a budget guy. I'm not going to pay $200 for a freaking scale. I think I paid like 25 bucks for this scale. Again, bought it on sale. I think normally it was like 40 bucks. So, and I will tell you, if you're not in a hurry to buy this coffee stuff, wait till Black Friday. Wait till you see the Black Friday sales on this garbage. It goes nuts. You're going to be able to like capitalize on it big time. But bottom line is, back to where I was going with my original comments, the retention on this thing right out of the box, my first grind, that's amazing. I can't believe that it did that well. So I'm shocked. The $40 I spent on this thing, I already freaking love it for 40 bucks. This is amazing. And I'm probably going to put this into my office travel workflow on Monday morning, because it's the weekend right now. So, but yeah, of course I'll continue to update you guys on that. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and make the shot, because I already ground it. So why not make it, right? So let's show you the workflow with the shaker. I don't think I've shown you an actual workflow with the shaker, but here we go. So I shake it up, baby, right? Pop it in, slap it a couple times, make sure we get as many grounds off of the metal that we can. And then we pull our shaker plug. I don't know what this thing is really called. I call it a pawn because it looks like a pawn from a chess set, right? But I pull it out, twist it as I pull it, shake it. I give it a couple of slaps to knock the grounds off of that. And then I tap the portafilter along with the shaker still attached to the portafilter. It's not physically attached, but I hold it on so it's attached. Then I can pull it off, grab my distributor, give it a few, oh, that's interesting. Give it a few twists. I think that I'm going to need a finer grind just from the experience that I have using my setup. You're not going to probably know that if you're new to this stuff, but you'll figure it out. You'll learn. You just got to do it over and over and over again. Watching me do it's not going to teach you really how to do it. I'm just giving you the basics. You got to do this stuff. So, and then I'm going to give it a slap with my torque wrench, right? All right. I don't know if you watched my other videos, but this is a puck screen. I like to use the puck screen. Remember why? I use the puck screen because I want to keep my shower head clean. It's just a better way to keep my shower head clean. And I actually, because I'm trying to look at you guys, I messed up a little bit and I put this thing in too fast and I puffed up a few of the coffee grounds. So it is what it is. Now let's see how this thing pours, because I will be able to tell you by the time and everything how this espresso shot comes out. And of course, I'm not prepared. So let me grab my little shot glass and walk off camera like a rude YouTuber who has a Cornball Coffee channel. And again, like I said, guys, this is Cornball Coffee. I call it Cornball Coffee for a reason, man, because I'm not that slick. All right. Now, my cool coffee espresso cups haven't come in yet, so I don't have the really cool double-walled fancy ones. And my other ones, like I explained in another video, they're not see-through. So I want you to be able to see what's happening with the shot. So I'm using this thing for now. All right. So what I do is I'm lining up the cup to my scale. I'm going to drop it straight down. I'm going to turn my scale on to zero it out with the cup on it so I can get a true reading on the actual shot. And then I just realized, the cornball that I am, I forgot to turn my espresso maker on before I did all this stuff. So fortunately, this machine doesn't take a long time to heat up, but I do need to wait till these lights turn on. There's 3 lights right here. You see got the 3 lights over here. They're on, but these need to turn on. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to go ahead and do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm going to vacuum my workstation, because I did spill quite a bit of grounds on my station here. You probably can't see it, but I did. And while we're also waiting, another thing I'll talk about real quick is this pad that I have. This pad's actually really cool. It's soft, kind of like rubbery. But one of the things that's nice about it is that you can see the type of material that it is, and see now it's ready. This thing actually will soak water into it in case you spill a little bit, which is really nice. So if I spill a little bit on this pad, it's not going to come down and impact the wood at all. This wood is not treated, not sealed or anything. This is actually just raw wood. And believe it or not, this is actually a really old liquor cabinet. And I don't drink alcohol at all. But I took this liquor cabinet. It's a really cool liquor cabinet, and I just converted it into being my coffee / spice station. The spices thing goes with the meat stuff. That's a whole different thing. But bottom line, if you get yourself some sort of pad to work on, work surface pad. You also see here I got a drawer system here. You don't need that. This can sit down here. But I personally don't have great eyesight, as you can tell, 4 eyes here. I like to have the stuff I'm working on as close to me as humanly possible. I like to have my espresso maker up a little bit higher. It's unconventional, but that's what I like to do. Now, we're ready to go. We're zeroed out. I'm going to go ahead and turn my timer on, and we're going to go ahead and do my double shot. And we're going to see how it goes. Right now, the pre-infusion's happening. You heard the motor kick on. You heard the motor stop. That's where it's doing the pre-infusion, which is the water is soaking that puck. Now it's actually brewing, and it looks like we're running a little fast. So we're running a little fast. Yep, we're running quite fast actually. So we're at 38 grams of liquid out, which is where I wanted to be, but we did it in 23 to 24 seconds. So what that means is this shot came out a lot faster than I wanted it to, because I wanted to be around 35 seconds. That's where I wanted to be for the flavor profile that I like with this coffee that I'm using. Okay, and again, that's something that you will have to figure out on your own as you tweak your dial in, right? And again, use my settings if you want as a baseline to start, but then play with it. Go up and ground, go down and ground. Mess with the times. You're going to get different flavor profiles out of your coffee each time. So do what you want. Don't listen to me all the time. I mean, geez, who am I? I'm just a dude. All right. Yeah. See, this is not as good as the last shot that I made. Let me just double test. Let me just taste it straight out of the cup. Actually, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not as good as my longer shot with a finer grind, but it's not bad. I'm not going to waste this. In fact, where is my, wow. I don't even know where my cup is. I had a cup of coffee here a second ago. All right. Again, welcome to Cornball Coffee. Here I go. Well, whatever. I'll figure that out in a minute. But hey, this grinder, this is a win, man. $40. You can't lose. In fact, I might even just buy a couple of these and give them out as gifts. Let me, oh, here it is. Here's the box. I couldn't remember what the brand is because I don't care. You know what? This doesn't even have a brand. It's got a bunch of Chinese writing on it. Well, that's interesting. How the heck am I going to tell you what it is if I don't even know? Does it even have English instructions? I don't even think it does. Wow. Oh, yeah, here it does in the back. Okay. All right, so it does have English instructions in the manual. It's got, like, I guess, Chinese maybe in the front and then English in the back. But yeah, I don't know what the brand is. So I'll tell you what. If you want to know what the brand is, you hit me up in the comments section. Tell me, say, hey, come on, Slacker, give me the brand. What is it? Give me a link. If you want to do that, let me know, and I'll put it in the comments section. I gotta head out right now. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Again, thanks for hanging out with Cornball Coffee.